So go up to Tennessee. They have like quarter comics.
We have quarter bins and methamphetamines. You can do some meth. You can look for comics for a long time.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
I'm in such
What
a
did I walk into?
This is the show. This is the. So I just want to say thank you very much to all of our viewers. This is obviously our last show, and
Reminder, this is TVMA, and this is what we have to throw this graphic up pretty often.
Not Near Mint is a show designed for audiences over the age of 18. If you're a viewer under the age of 18, please stop watching Not Near Mint. It's not that we don't want you as a fan. It's just that we'll probably get in trouble if you watch us.
Yeah.
Shall we begin? Let's begin.
Welcome to Not Near Mint, everybody. This is the 46th installment of our weekly Wednesday web series, every Webhead Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on this very channel, YouTube, Not Near Mint. My name's Rob Wurst. We touch you in that very special no-no place. It's your wallet, and sometimes your heart. Now, we had a very big week in comic books after no DC, no Marvel last week. Also, very extra special shout out to everyone who came out last week for our very first community comic book auction and claim sale. You helped keep the lights on, really. Also, breaking news. Let's put that up on the screen. We have some breaking news. Lady Fantastic just finally hit 500 subs. So let's all give her a nice little round of applause. Okay, we'll have to say hello and thank you and for all the good stuff that she does as soon as she comes into the background. So otherwise here, we're not going to get to that just yet. So, also, other breaking news is just as we were coming on the air, Ruby Rose, we already know, is out as Batwoman, but Javicia Leslie is in. She's the first Black Batwoman that is bisexual, and she will be filling in the role as Ryan Wilder. She's first appearance, never been in the comics before. We'll see how that turns out. Also, Arrow from Agents of Atlas is supposed to make an appearance on Agents of Something, S.H.I.E.L.D. I can't believe the show's still going. Sorry for those that are still watching. Also, Yelena Belova. She is supposed to become Black Widow in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU going forward. Aliens and Predator has been acquired by Marvel and the Mouse. So can we expect some Predator plushies? I don't know, Alien Disney Princess Halloween costumes? Face hugger COVID masks. All this new comic book day, hauls, the comic book chopping block, and more tonight, July 8th, 2020 on Not Near Mint. But first, community shoutouts. That's when I wanted to blow this little screen up here. Let's see if I can add that. All right, let's see who is in the chat. We had some people that were hanging out in the background. Hello, Comic Books NYC. Thank you so much. Early, but two more away, and I'll be right behind Lady Fantastic. Also, we have Mr. Gretzky. He thinks that Diamond cut out his pull list there with stupid shipping stuff. Only gets 1 to 3 books anymore. I kind of know the feeling. We're going to be cutting back our list perhaps tonight. We're going to be talking about that. Flashpoint's also in the house. Good to see you this evening. Also, Life with 2 YouTubers, somebody who I need to turn into a moderator. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, I can't do that here. I need to do that on YouTube, which I can do right here. And I can't find her. So to keep the show moving, I'll just move on to who else is in here. We got Random Wolf Rena. So just to let people know that, let's see here if I can get that up on the screen. Isle of the Dark is still on sale. It is $25 shipped at isleofthedark.com. Do check that out. Also, Sharon has a new web series, and she'll drop that link in the chat shortly. So let's see, who else do we have in here? Simon, along with Comics on the Mind. Lady Fantastic, Ricky Ricardo, and yes, I'm in a suit today because I actually got some work. Somehow it's been a little bit better these last couple weeks, especially these last few days, so I will not complain, and neither will my starving cats. Let's see, anybody else? Chad Fisher, good to see him, a man, and Box Hype. And who else? We got B. Rain. I haven't seen you before. Glad to have you. If anybody has not done so already, do subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Let's see, anybody else we got here? Steven Spock, thank you so much for the auction last week. Everything has gone out, at least as far as I am concerned. I'm pretty sure that everybody else has gotten their stuff out. Speaking of which, how about we start bringing in some of our panel, starting with, maybe not me. Let's knock that out. Let's say hi to Lady Fantastic. Good evening.
Hello, how are you? Hope you guys are doing well.
We're live. Yes.
Yeah, I'm alive. Pretty grateful for that. Just chilling and killing.
And did you feel that today was worth risking life, limb, and health to go get books?
I don't feel like it's risking my life when I wear personal protective equipment. And when one does that, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah,
So, no, I didn't feel like I was risking
the show. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I got to do a giveaway. So I'm going to be doing I'm going to be posting something. I just got to figure out what kind of contest I'm doing, but I really want to give something fun and big back to the community, and I always like doing little contests. So be ready that'll be around.
So check out our YouTube channel if you haven't already, and sub her up. Put her over 500, because I don't know what it is. It's like sometimes we get to a certain number and then it trails back. So we got to put you over the edge.
All I know is that it was there. Even if it goes back down 10, I don't care.
You did it. That's all that matters. And fuck you too. Which kind of also reminds me that with this show, we are a TVMA show. So if you're not over the age of 18, well, why am I the one explaining this to you when Miracleman can do that himself?
Not Near Mynd is a show intended for audiences over the age of 18. If you're under the age of 18, please do not watch Not Near Mynd. It's not that we don't want you as a fan. It's just that we're probably going to get in trouble. And hey, how are you? And thanks for joining us tonight, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Excited to talk about some comics. Got some cool stuff this week. Great books came out today. And
I'm the important one. I'm the important one. I'm sorry.
She's the important one.
I'm going to do for you.
In fact, the whole rest of the show, we're just going to leave you up on the screen, and we're just going to talk.
I matter most. Want to see my deodorant? I matter most.
Awesome. Yes.
okay,
yes.
then. More of that, please.
Insanity.
More of that, please.
We need Not Near Mint show. This is what people come to watch the first couple minutes for, because they don't know what the hell's going to happen.
That's very true. Very accurate. Very accurate of this crew.
But speaking of not knowing who might be showing up, we do have somebody that's in the chat that is also here with us now.
Oh!
You got Comics on the Mind.
What's up, everybody? Missed y'all. Hope everybody's doing good.
Is that Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur?
No, it's just a really cool shirt with a dinosaur and
It's E.T.
an alien.
No, that's good. I like it.
Very cool.
How's everybody doing today? All right.
Wait, hold on. Is it your birthday?
No,
I'm right here in the chat.
it's an inside joke with me and Captain Comics.
Ah.
By the way, hi, Captain.
Hey, Russ, what's up?
Super Russ.
Dude, Super Russ is the reason why I got a Thor 17 or a Thor 5. Never mind. It cost 17. I am bad with numbers.
Hashtag
you
Thor
went to
5.
order it, and then right after you order it, you went, "Hey, yeah, guess what?
It's an okay. Yeah.
Very nice.
Can't think of the Black Winter without Super Russ.
I don't know if that's a compliment or.
Oh God, it is. It's such a big one. It's the biggest one. Biggest compliment of the night.
Well, that's good then.
And we all like
It is,
compliments here.
Marcus.
That's why we're watching this show instead of watching auctions, because last week was great, but auctions they're fun if you can actually bet on them.
Yeah, if you have money.
can't bet on them, it's just that's a nice comic.
Yeah.
And silence.
Yeah.
And there's another comic and silence. We got a bid for $12. All right.
That was very different last week. I never watched or taken part in one of those before, so that was very unique for me.
Gotta try it, man.
It was very
Gotta
unique
try
for
it.
me.
It's dangerous for you though.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Like every book I buy, I never buy books to sell. Like every once in a while, it comes up that I end up with my hands on one. I probably got a short box of books. Like I think I have a second complete run of The Boys that I might dump when the second season drops. But I don't have a ton of books that I'd want to move, and I don't go out looking for them for that reason. So I'm always trying to fill in a hole in my collection as opposed to finding one that
Yeah, you and your holes. Da.
That's very true. I'm very much about filling them holes.
And we'll take it at any.
Not Near Mint is a show intended for audiences over the age of 18. If you're under the age of 18, please do not watch Not Near Mint.
I love how I can throw that graphic up now.
Yeah, we needed that, man. We needed that.
We have to. I'm glad that I got that. We'll create more of this stuff later. But speaking of which, I know most of us got comic book. I'm pretty sure all of us. I only got new stuff, which is weird for me because that was what I used to do forever until, I don't know, this dumb app here, this Key Collector app that made me go, hey, I could get this before I get everything else because then that'll be less expensive. I had weird rationales back then. But let's talk about the comic book hunt and find out what everybody got. So let's start around the room, and I'll put this little graphic up here. It's not rule number 1, don't die, but do remember, don't die. What did you pick up? And we'll start with Lady Fantastic.
No, make Kurt go first. You don't ever make Kurt go
Oh, dang it.
Come on, make him go. Make him go.
I think Kirk was ready.
He's gonna Hulk out.
I'll go first. All right, so I have to show this. Strange Academy. I've been waiting for this for so long. I love when Scotty Young actually writes a story. So I can't wait to read this. I got X-Force continuing. And then this, I'm loving this series. Agents of Wakanda. If you're not reading this, what's wrong with you? No judgment, but man, this is good. And then shout out to Miracleman. I got Join the Future, number 1. Join the Future, number 2. Join the Future, number 3.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Can't wait to read those. And then I got my favorite word of the day, money shot.
Nice.
Let's try to say phrase. And then I got Stealth. I got Stealth number 3. I started to read my issue number 2, but I've been loving that series. So good. And then another series I've been loving is Finger Guns. I don't know if you guys have read this. You know, some people have mixed feelings about it, but I've been loving it. And then, of course, I hopped on Batman at 93, so I've been reading that. So I can't wait to read this. And then we got Batman Adventures Continue number 2. And that's what I got this literally today.
All right. Also, I don't know if anyone's noticed here, but I just made Sharon a moderator.
Hey,
Sharon.
speaking of Sharon, Random Wolf, Sharon's lovely daughter, just started this thing. I forgot what it's called, Watto or something like that. But anyways, it's a site where you can actually read an artist's stories and short stories. And I think maybe, Rob, we could get maybe Rena back on again sometimes, and she can kind of talk for a couple of minutes about what's going on with that and help her, like, you know, get some nerds out there, read her stuff.
If you want to, between this whole thing here, if you want to drop her a link, or we can do that a little bit later on and she can come on the show.
Okay, we do that, or
we can arrange it for another time and do
next
a whole
week
thing
or something.
around.
Yeah, we could do it before we do our weapons.
Yeah, or we can divide our time a little bit. Just depends on what we want to do. Because next week there's no Marvel; it's just DC and Image and the indie book. So it's not like we're going to have a whole ton of stuff to show. But you never know what the week's going to be like, right?
Yeah.
Mm. Great show.
And that's our show for the night. Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Lady Fantastic, you want to go next, ma'am?
Yeah.
Please show us some comics.
There you go.
All right. I got 5 at the LCS today. 5 comics. 1 true new one. 1 kind of new. It was a week old, but I just picked up Batman 94. And like this. Found it.
Nice.
1 copy there.
Nice.
Found it.
I will get my hands on that.
Dude, it was really a fun read.
And that looks like, is this Sienkiewicz?
I don't believe
It looks
so.
like his signature, though.
It looks like his signature. That's the thing. I'll have to look. It doesn't look like him. That's the thing.
Right.
I found this is Siege the Cabal. This is
Nice.
Finch art. Oh,
Gorgeous.
Doom!
damn! I love it.
Very, very cool.
This was fucking crazy. But
Let's see it.
I found this banging ass copy of Eastman Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Ooze.
Does it have Vanilla Ice? Is there a vanilla? Is that the Vanilla Ice movie? Right. That one has Vanilla Ice at the end. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Go Turtle, go Turtle, or go Ninja, go Ninja.
Go.
Is Vanilla Ice?
At the end.
Is he in it?
At
Is
the
he in the
end,
book?
yeah, he's in there singing.
All right.
Well,
Y'all know-
I don't know if he's in the book. I'll have to check the book.
Right. Yeah. We got. That's what I was asking.
I don't know, but I know he's in the. Yeah, I found this. My exciting pick of the day, Jim Aparo on Weird Adventure 437, part of the Spectre run, and I'm trying to get this whole Spectre run. So
Very nice. Very nice.
was glad to get that. Now here's the thing though. I got some stuff in the mail.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
I got something in the mail. Okay. So I'm working on God of Thunder because I read it in trade paperbacks and I'm like, I gotta get this. It's too cool.
Yup.
Yeah.
I want to get that. I want to work on that once.
Oh.
There's a very special weapon that Gore's using.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got number 5 and then number 9.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like this one because it's got all 3 Thors from the 3 different timelines. Because they're all going on at once. You guys, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I read it on the Marvel Unlimited app, but I started working on the run recently.
Yeah, it's so good. Conan the King, I got this from Southern Comic Geeks because I'm working on my 25th anniversary framed comics or whatever. So I picked that one up because I didn't have it. I found this one for like, I don't know, $1.25 at the store. Oh God. So that one wasn't in the mail, but I'd found it. It's Barry Windsor Smith.
I love that run.
Yeah. Beginning of the Weapon X story. And so, yeah. And thanks, Russ. I was super excited. This one, man, this one's just like a diamond in the rough. I never knew this thing existed until like I just randomly came across it. This is a JTC unknown virgin variant of Avengers 1. And on the bottom, it's Latin for justice and might. And it's got She-Hulk and Captain Marvel.
That She-Hulk is looking good.
It's so fierce. Look at them ladies.
Beautiful art.
They'll kick your ass. Okay. And then I got some Captain America. So I got this in the mail. So I got 353. Look at this. I got the Supreme Soviets.
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
About to comrade your ass to death. And then I got Streets of Poison, number 3.
That's a great cover. Yeah, that run was good.
So I'm trying to get that whole run. I've got about 4 or 5 of them. And there's a total of like 7 or 8. So I've got 374. I got today. And then I've also got 376.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I'm working on just putting the first maybe 10 of these, but I got Dark Avengers number 5.
Oh, yeah. That's a great run.
Yeah.
I can check my CLZ, but I think there's only 10 issues.
Oh, really? So that's probably great for me. I've got Fantastic Four 181.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's Clawbridge.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's 1 through 16. I'm sorry.
217.
No, very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, these are just ones that I wanted to pick up to fill holes. 245, we all do it.
Speaking of filling holes, look at that outfit.
Yeah, she's a little holy. And finally, 282.
Oh, that's great.
I love that cover, yeah.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
On to the next contestant.
Oh. Man.
Tinkety tonk.
Will that be moi?
I think it's.
All right. All right. Well, I didn't see a lot tonight that I didn't already have in mind. So, I don't have a whole lot. I should say, I'm not going to show you a whole lot of new books that are different than what everybody else showed you. First up, there's my copy of Money Shot. And let me just tell you right now, they had to have used some references for these leather harnesses. These are just too accurate. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I know this on my own. Let's just say, moving on. Join the future number 3.
Okay.
So Peter Kowalski does the art on this. This is one of the reasons I really like this book. He did a book for Image called Sex. And yes, its name was just Sex. And apparently it sold good enough in trades, but not good enough in single issues. So they just kind of stopped making it around issue 34. And I swore to myself I wasn't going to buy another book from those two anymore. But there I am buying one anyway. Sucker. Then we have Adventure Man number 2. I showed Adventure Man number 1 a couple of weeks ago. Matt Fraction, Terry and Rachel, the 2 Dodsons are doing this one. The art's gorgeous. Fraction sometimes, just to be 100% honest, sometimes he's a little hit or miss. I don't love everything he does. But he's got some great books right now. Sex Criminals is back. He's got Adventure Man. If you like pulp heroes, man, you should be buying Adventure Man. I'll tell you right now. Ashen Thorn from Ahoy Comics. I'll try anything Ahoy does. I mean anything. But this is basically like if the Sorcerer Supreme was, a retired woman. and almost in the old folks' home woman. Next up, now, if y'all remember a couple of weeks back, I brought up the comeback from Diamond. And if you've been buying comics, I'm sure you've seen them on a lot of the indie titles, definitely not on the DC ones, where somewhere very inconspicuously, you'll see a stamp that says our comeback will be bigger than our setback. That's in conjunction with Diamond Distribution, the company that shut down the comic industry and refused to pay their vendors. They did pay them at 25%. And yeah, they're going to start getting their money. But let's be honest, if you have a monopoly and you can't pay, there's probably a problem. Anyway, the reason that I'm irritated about this thing, first of all, is because it was called a pandemic era collectible. Okay? A pandemic era collectible, these books with these stamps. And look what the fine folks at AC Comics decided to do. Instead of putting a nice tiny little stamp, they put it so it's like 1/10 of the cover. Look at that. Thanks for ruining that cover for me, AC Comics and Steve Geppy. I really appreciate it. I look forward to you not ruining the covers in the future. X-Men. I think this is the only Marvel book I got. Yeah. X-Men, God Loves, Man Kills. This is going to be the extended cut, new pages added to it. Listen, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I've never read God Loves Me.
What?
I've never read it.
I've never read it either.
I've never
I
read
have
it.
the first print trade paperback.
Yeah, oh, that's
room.
that's tough to get your hands on. Great book. Everybody's told me great things about it. Never read it. Real excited to read it myself.
It's amazing.
Yeah, much better than the first movie.
It's amazing.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. Batman 94. Everybody's seen that already. What else is there? What else came out this week? Okay, so yeah, the rest of these DC, I don't think anybody else showed. First of all, listen, Doom Patrol: Weight of the World is finally coming back. Issue number 7 here. It's Gerard Way and Lambert, Jeremy Lambert are writing it. Nick Darrington is doing the art. Mike Allred is doing inks, and Tamara Bonvillain's doing colors. Now, listen, a lot of people they'll talk to you about the artist on a comic. They don't ever really bring up the colors, and I'll tell you what, that is an absolute mistake. Look at the coloring on this cover. All right. It is bright. It's vibrant. The coloring on this cover, and I'm not saying it's not a beautiful piece of art. It's very busy, but the coloring on this cover is what sells this cover. It's just gorgeous. Anything Tamara Bonvillain, and I hope I'm saying that right, anything she colors, I'll take a look at, because her colors can absolutely make or break a book all by themselves. And when it comes to Doom Patrol, I'll be honest and frank with you. If they wrote me and said, listen, we're going to have to cancel Doom Patrol unless we sell another 500 units, I would be buying those 500 units per month. I'll tell you that right now.
That's hella fun. I wanted to read that series too, but I wasn't sure if it was good or not, but now I know.
Oh, there she is. Look at that. That's
There you
very
go.
nice. Very
Whoa,
nice.
nice.
Gorgeous. Good. Very pretty. Very pretty. Here's it's very nice. I've been meaning to get my hands on a copy of that myself. Here's one thing I want to point out in this version of the Doom Patrol. You're getting every surviving member of the Doom Patrol. So you're getting characters from all throughout the history. Last issue, Mento showed up.
Oh my goodness. Holy crap.
Yep. And for those of you not in the know, Mento married Elastigirl.
Yeah.
Many, many, many years ago. Was the first new character added. He was insane. The helmet really doesn't do anything. It's all in his head. The character is very complex. I was just really glad to see him pull him back in. Justice League 48. Yeah, Justice League, Flash 757.
But I thought you said that Justice League was getting better.
I've been enjoying with Venditti. This is a new storyline. And then the last storyline, this is Spurrier now, so this is a new writer, okay, because Venditti's done with his run. So the last storyline ended, essentially it was, the heroes, everybody on Earth gets angry and their jealousy and their rage comes out. And this one here, as you can see, it kind of starts off with them being overlords. I just paged through it. I didn't really read it, but I wasn't feeling really enthused because I just dealt with a storyline where Justice League was not bad, but the worst of them was coming out. I was kind of hoping we get something that was a little lighter, a little more, character building. or team building. But you know, it has been getting better, absolutely. But I was just less enthused as soon as I saw the cover. Flash 757. You know, been collecting Flash for a while. You know, we might be discussing that issue later, or that book later. Hawkman number 25. We got two more until we get to the JSA.
Oh, okay.
I think it's two more. They showed it in diamonds. They got a picture of the Hawkman and Hawkgirl with the JSA.
I put that one back. I knew that the last one, the first appearance of the Lord Beyond the Veil, last page, but I was flipping through this and like, I don't know about the art.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you on that one. Listen, y'all, if you ain't buying Green Lantern,
oh yeah,
Green Lantern is a book you should be buying. You know, Morrison is really kind of opening up on this one. You got this whole giant group of supers that he created just for this book. He's been using them a little bit as cannon fodder. And one of the things that Liam Sharp, the artist, has been doing has been kind of, and I'm going to show you interiors here. It's kind of adjusting his art style. It's kind of going along with the eras in comics. Okay. And you'll see this era is very specific. And once again, it's a comic where the colorist is really doing some work. You know, really causes it to pop. He's going very much for a Jack Kirby feel in these books. In fact, here's a real good example for you. Not that we got the heroes. Although notice what 3 movies they bring up.
Really, people give a crap about.
Right.
The good ones, you mean?
I mean, I'm not saying anything negative about any other directors, but we see who wants to watch what, right?
Who's Batman and Superman? I don't know.
Never heard of them.
Bullshit. Excuse me. No.
Young Justice number 16. Check this cover out, gang. Look at that.
It's a great cover.
Oh, yeah.
It's a banging cover, man. So I told you. Go ahead.
I got the other one.
Okay. So I told you all issue 15 was a big deal. It's going to be very important to the future of DC Comics. Young Justice, and perhaps the revival of a certain property, milestone. And this one here kind of deals with what the heck has been going on with Impulse since the pre-New 52 era. And I don't want to give anything away, but they answer all your questions, gang. So you'll really find out right there. Last up from the new books, we got DC's Dead Planet. I had to get the Blade Runner. I just had to. Wonder Girl looks great. Dr. Fate and Constantine, they're just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And then we had a good week in the back issues, gang.
Did we?
We had a good week. We're going to call it a good week. We'll see what you guys think. We'll see what you guys think. All right.
Are you going to start with the biggest banger first or save it for last?
I'm going to save her for last. We're going to end with a bang. So first up, we all know I've been talking a lot about Savage Dragon lately.
Oh, yeah.
Found myself a real nice pile of Savage Dragons. There's a whole lot more back there, so I have a feeling I'll have a good chunk of it done when I'm all done here. First up, we got 109.
Nice.
We got 110. We got 113. We got, and I think there's some more in here. I might have to dig out. Oh, yeah, here we go. We got 185.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh.
That's kind of a big issue right there because that one's dealing with the original Savage Dragon, his verdict.
He's no longer a cop after that, right?
Well, that's absolutely correct, sir. That's absolutely correct. Next, we have Savage Dragon 186. Then we've got Savage Dragon 217. What else is on that cover there? Yeah, that guy is.
Oh, who that dude right there?
Yeah. And then, last but not least, now this one's not the best condition. A little beat up, but
is this the shaving cream one?
oh, it is beautiful.
Nice.
Really nice. Was really happy. Was really happy.
Has Savage Dragon 250 come out yet?
Not yet. Not yet. It's coming, but it hasn't come out yet.
I haven't read any of those, but I heard that Scotty Young is coming out with a cover for 250s that I'm trying to hop on.
Oh yeah, there's some good covers, some good covers coming. So then we got some really great stuff at the flea market. First of all, I'm going to show you this book here I got for $1. I hear this one's popular lately.
Oh, nice.
Batman 436. I think that's my 6th copy. I have a few of those.
Yeah, I think it's worth like $3 to $6.
Yeah, not worth a lot right now, but it's suddenly
not old.
It's on the radar though.
It's on the radar. We're seeing big bumps in sales, just in quantity right now. So people are definitely ramping up. What you're going to see happen is it's a lot of shops or a lot of specs are going to buy these up cheap, and then you're going to start to see the price go up once those start.
It'll be a $10 book in a month.
It absolutely will. It absolutely will. If you find a Batman 436, pick it up right now because it's cheap.
Get it.
It's only going to get more expensive. And then, in
It
honor
came out in
of
what, 1986, that was like 86, 96, 2006. That's a 35 plus year old book.
Right. It's got some vintage. It's got some vintage to it. And next, in honor of Lady Fantastic, I found this right here.
Yes.
I had to get it.
Too good.
I had to get it.
Yeah.
Joe Sinoni, who we just lost, he actually did the inking on this book. So this might be the only Sinoni book that I know I have. Then we have Avengers Annual number 8 with
I love that cover.
Dr. Spectrum. So one of the Squadron Sinister. You guys know I love that Squadron Sinister, Squadron Supreme stuff. My absolute favorite team in the Marvel U. Then I found a couple of these right here. V for Vendetta number 5 and number 8.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, not an easy one to put together, surprisingly.
There's actually quite a few at my LCS. If you want to tell me which issues you still need, they may have them.
I'll send you a ping.
Because they're only like $4 or $5, I want to say, each.
All right. I might know. Those there I got for, I want to say they were $1 or less. Deadpool number 0, the Wizard giveaway issue.
Oh shit!
And this here I got for like 65 cents.
So you really broke the bank, is what you're saying.
Really had to scrape up the money. Alpha Flight 31 here, just so y'all know, Alpha Flight 31 is the first appearance of Heather Hudson as Vindicator, but you don't see it until the letter page.
Nice.
Letter page.
It's a great cover.
Letter page. It's a great cover too. It's a Magnolia. How can you complain about that?
Yeah.
Real Ghostbusters number 1.
Oh hell.
I got that. That's a great book.
It's a great book, dude. It's the Ghostbusters 2, but with the real Ghostbusters characters.
Yeah.
Killer.
Man, we really did some movie magic today, didn't we?
I did. Yeah. We did. I also got.
I have that one, Powder Toast Man.
That is Dan Slott's.
Toast Man.
I have that one, number 8.
That is Dan Slott's first time writing Spidey, guys.
Shut the front door.
It sure is. It sure is. A lot of people don't know that.
Humble beginnings.
So if you were a fan of Dan Slott's Spidey run, right there's where it really begins.
Oh, Mama's
This is
got
your
that
tip
one.
of the week.
There you go. Starfire number 1, another book I picked up for 65 cents.
Speaking of tip of the week,
Yeah, right. Like that one. She's pretty.
They always say just the tip.
Just the tip.
It's never the tip.
Then out of a 3 for $1 bin, I got me a couple of Milestone books because I've been collecting these Milestone books here. Heroes number 2.
That's a great cover.
And number 3.
damn.
The Heroes series is actually really tough to come by. Icon number 23. The last issue I needed out of the Magnolia 3-parter of Batman Dark Knight, Dark City. And that's the more collectible one. I forget why. I'll have to look it up in Key Collector, but that one there is a bigger deal. Brian Pulido's Unholy from Avatar. This is very much related to a certain book that we do not show on Not Near Mint anymore.
No braided booty holes on Not Near Mint.
That's right.
Captain Crew and those watching that are coming on the show later.
That's right. And then we're down to 4 more here. So I'm going to show you real quick here. This isn't a digest size book, but this is Adventure Comics number 497. The last dozen or so issues were digest size. Wow. Very tough to come by. Okay. There's a little staining on it, but it's another 65-cent pickup. Absolutely worth the money.
What issue number?
This is 497. That back cover.
So Adventure, what did it go to 500 or something?
I think it actually went to 503 if I remember right. I'm going to double check real fast for you here. But Adventure Comics, let's see. Adventure Comics finishes at 503. The last full-sized issue is 490. So 490 is your last full-size issue. It goes another 13 issues after that. Well, 12, I guess, technically. After that, 13. And it ends at 503. So if you find 503, that one's kind of tough to come by. But all the digest-size adventures, a little tough to come by.
Hey, I got that one too the other day.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in your video.
Julie Bell.
Yeah. You know, these Marvel masterpieces or masterworks, any of those books, I always pick them up because they got some beautiful art that usually doesn't show up anywhere else.
Oh, yeah.
This one's a bit of an exception. I was not a big fan of the art in this particular book, even though it had some of the absolute masters on there.
So that
wasn't a big fan of this one.
That book covers Marvel Masterpieces Volume 2, which is came out in 1993, and its art was less superior than that of the Marvel Masterpieces Volume 1, which was all Just Go, I think.
Yes, agreed, 100%. 100%. In fact, they even mentioned that in a full page editorial at the end of this. And then this is a Kickstarter from my good friend Chloe Handler, and it's called Astonishing Gators.
Wow.
Now I'm sure if anybody here on the show or anybody who watches the show knows me, they'll know that I have a group of comics fans that I've had altercations with in the past. This is a comic that skewers the living crap out of them. And I'm just going to be honest with you right now. This is very, very much a niche within a niche within a niche of a comic. If you are an anti one of these people, this comic is awesome. It's got people you know as superheroes. It skewers the individuals that we refer to when we say this word. And it does a great job having fun. So I can't tell you that everybody will enjoy this book. I will say, if you've ever run into a certain frog merchant, you might have a good time reading that book. Maybe possibly. Now, last but not least, I got a book here that I'm really happy to get my hands on. It was only $10.
Oh yeah.
It is. It's beat. I'm gonna tell you, it's beat right off the bat. But it is from October 1952. And it is Master Comics number 130.
Reaction video time.
So my LCS got in a nice pile of 50s pre-code stuff, a lot of stuff I wouldn't normally have interest in, but there was as always, a nice little pile of superhero stuff, and this one was one of them. And I could not let it sit on the shelf without coming home with me. My second Golden Age book, so very, very happy.
That's one more than I'd have.
And listen, this is probably the grade. I mean, you can see there's a gouge on the side. The staples are attached still, but it's a big chunk there, and there's a chunk missed out there. I'm never going to be buying $500 a copy Golden Age books, but $10, that's my wheelhouse. I'll be right in there.
I think everybody here on this panel would agree we would definitely pay $10 for that.
Right.
Considering what came out last week, nothing. The week before that was that Green Lantern that was $10.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to remember that next year. I'll remember that.
Right.
Hey, Miracleman.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2.
Oh, yeah. There
Yeah.
you go. 2, I like the cover on 2 quite a bit, actually.
Well, it's Sienkiewicz. That's why.
That's why.
That's why. And then they also did one for the X-Men comic cards, too.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and hey, do you have Blood Syndicate number 1?
I do.
So,
thank you very much for asking.
Did yours have a shit ton of stuff in there?
Yeah, they come with. So there was a bagged edition. That one looks like it was previously the bagged edition.
Yeah.
So and it came with like a poster and a card. And
this one has like 2 posters and a card.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, sounds about right.
It was a lot of swag.
It's a lot of swag. It's a lot of swag. I pulled a milestone book. I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head. It might be Long Hot Summer, which was one of their first crossovers. I think their first crossover. And I pulled it out. It was cover price still. I'd been sitting in that bin since 1996. And I pulled it out and I flipped it open, and out came the insert. That had just been tossed in there. It was never a bagged issue. It just must have had an insert tossed in there. And it was basically like a fighting bill. You know, like you would see like old school boxing.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just slipped in there. You know, the milestone books, I mean, that was right in that era when it was just all gimmick, you know.
Yeah.
But they didn't do like the chrome covers or the 3D or the glow in the dark ink on those. The only thing they really would do is inserts, and they would do posters, they would do cards, apparently these little handbills that I had no idea about. But that stuff's cool, man. I'll take that stuff any day of the week. That's like you're getting something, like you're getting more than just a comic right there.
Anyway. Take a little extra.
Yeah, right.
What's the French call lagniappe?
So
new every week.
Mr. Worst, what's in the briefcase?
What's in the briefcase? Oh,
what's
I guess
in the briefcase?
Oh, what's in the briefcase? I guess it's time to share that little graphic with y'all and go, what's in the briefcase? First, where did I put it? Oh, it's over here. So I'll blow my ass up because I'm sure there's a bunch of other people that would like to blow my ass up for me.
Bum.
So here I am, popping this shit open. Remember, this is an 18 and over show, mostly because it's so juvenile for the fact that I bought 21 books and I was really only excited for about 3 of them. When asked before the show what I'd like to spend my money on this week, there was a bevy of stuff, and when you see a stack this large and you're really only excited for a couple of them, that's going to be the next part of our show. So let me throw up that little banner here and show you what my Instagram and everything else is while I change the camera on over to show you what I got. So what is in the briefcase? All the new comic books. Today, I only specialize in the new stuff that came out, which I know is a little odd, since I usually wind up picking up some old stuff, at least 1 or 2, not this week, because work hasn't been what it used to be. So I'll pick up the new stuff, but they just dropped so much stuff. So let's see what I'm actually excited about. This is a Scotty Young written book. So, of course, I'm actually excited about this, but I still haven't read the first one because I somehow got that in a stack and I don't know where I put it. Welcome to my world.
I got an extra one. Is it Surgeon Supreme?
No, that was
Strange Academy. It's Strange Academy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have it. I have the Scotty Young variant cover on that. I just don't know where I put it. I think I might have put it with my Doctor Strange, but who knows these days. X-Force number 10. I will actually probably stop reading this once it gets to issue number 12 if it keeps going. This is the cover that I'm sure Miracleman would have preferred to have gotten. This is the Dustin Nguyen version of Batman Adventures number 2. This is much better. Next up, we have Batman 94. This one I was actually excited about, and it was the conclusion of the previous story, setting it up for the Joker War. No more spoilers for me other than telling you that. But we don't know what happened to Harley. They tried telling you on the Key Collector app that this was Harley versus Punchline. That was last issue, and Harley got her throat slashed and thrown in the river. No conclusion yet. Only spoiler for me. Batman's Grave number 8. I will finally read this once they conclude it at 12. I just hope that they actually get to that point. Blade Runner, I want to call it Blade Runner. I'd pick up a Blade Runner comic book again. This is the deceased dead planet, the same one that Miracleman got. Let's see, what else? I also picked up this, the Detective Comics 1023, and I do have to admit that, oh my God, I have not really read it since about issue 1000. Oh my God, Comic Zombie clicked on a link from Tron Hub and ended up here. Well, I'm glad that 18 and over show, maybe. Right? I hope.
This is
moving on. Yeah, this is very niche. I mean, if you really want to wank to comic books, who am I to say anything? We do not kink shame here. All we do is show comic book porn. Am I right?
Yeah, but we don't play the shit music.
No. And pew, pew, no, we play techno over here.
Yeah.
And boots and pants and boots and pants. I will never forget that from that Geico commercial. Now, I'm looking forward to issue 6, so then I can finally read the entirety of this Grant Morrison storyline, because trying to read this issue by issue, not so easy. Harley Quinn 74, I haven't been picking it up at all, but I'm pretty sure that issue 75, something big is supposed to happen. Originally, it was supposed to be that the series was going to be canceled, and in 5G or G5, she was supposed to lead the Justice League a couple of years ahead in the future. But since Didito's gone, who knows? Justice League 48, this was the variant cover, and I did notice Cy Spurrier, so I guess we'll see how that is. I haven't read the last few. Speaking of not reading the last few, because I put it on my chop list, but I just have every issue, and it's so hard to not pick up the next one when you've been picking it up since issue 1. I mean, maybe I should get rid of them all to stop it? Stop the bleeding? I don't know. It's Bendis. Come on. Wonder Woman. Okay, I'll pick up Orlando stuff. I haven't really read it since G. Willow Wilson. And here's that Young Justice 16. This I actually do look forward to reading, even though Bendis is on it, but it's mostly David Walker. And I will read just about anything he puts his name on, which leads me to Better Root. Now, when you were talking about that graphic before of our comeback will be bigger than setback, which is great if you don't wind up, trying to hype up your own brand.
Yeah.
It's like 9/11.
Right.
After 9/11, it's one thing if you're trying to just make a comment on it, but if you're trying to capitalize on it and say that, hey, this is pandemic era comic books, you're a douchebag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Oh, we could do that to him, but no, that we're pacifists here. That's why I don't own a gun. Speaking of which, don't publish my address, anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, and a side note, at 53, coming up on 54 minutes, we had somebody message me on Instagram, a J Monty Comics, told me that I won a contest. He's going to be sending me a Once and Future #1 and a few other books. So I just found him pretty much in the last day or so. So check out his Instagram if anybody hasn't already.
Hell yeah, man.
And here is Buffy the Vampire Slayer issue 15, followed by some Willow with Jen Bartel cover. And I've been digging the Buffy, but like all the spinoffs, I am probably just going to pick up the first issue just to check it out. But it's just too much. Too much. Not quite too much. And I've been looking forward to getting this the last couple weeks where I told him I don't care about Near Mint just as long as it doesn't look like somebody sat on it. So have a good
I almost
one.
picked that up today too, but I didn't.
Very cool.
Nice.
They're
I've
all
always been interested in reading that.
Yeah, they're all single individual issues.
Stories, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about continuity or what's been going on before. You can just pick it up.
Oh,
and read it.
nice.
Yeah, they're self-contained.
The only Goon I ever bought was issue 39, the one where he did it like it was a superhero cover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want the Scotty Young cover that they have.
Of course you do.
I find
Of course. Of course.
What a shocker.
Now, I don't read Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I really never even watched the show, but it's issue 50. I don't know if it was the last issue, but I'll usually pick up an anniversary issue just because you never know if I might need to trade it for something I want more in the future. Which maybe that's not a good idea to practice. But Sabrina, this I have been liking, but it's Kelly Thompson. I like Kelly Thompson's writing. So those were all the books that I wound up picking up this week. And let's go ahead and move on over to the next subject that we're going to be talking about. This is the comic book shopping block on Not Near Mint. And we're going to be talking about, what we should keep, what we should get rid of, why we collect so much if we're not reading it. So this is kind of where we're at now. This week seems to have been the most books that have dropped since the pandemic started. So I don't know. How do y'all feel about the books that have been coming out? Do you think that you're buying more? Do you think that you're going to be more judicious? Let's start with Mind Shift.
Definitely this week was like a big haul. I bought a lot of books, and ever since I've been getting into more DC and a lot more indie books. I'm definitely picking up more books, so I'm definitely trying to be more conscious on what am I gonna like reread like later on in the future. Like for example, like a lot of the X-Men title books, I've heard a lot of people drop those books already, and I'm still collecting them, and it's like, I can just wait until the trade comes out, for some of those books. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to be more conscious about that. But there's so many good indie books out there that are coming out that I want to read, So it's like hard. It's definitely like hard to cut back on like, what do you choose not to purchase, as a collector,
Yeah, that's a tough choice right there. What book do you cut out? What book do you cut out?
Exactly.
So, like, for me, like, it's easy. All right. I don't have any problem buying a trade paperback for something I'm not invested in buying. Because as soon as you go onto Amazon and you can find a used copy of it for $3, like, you can literally get the trade paperback for the price of a single issue. So it just depends on what your priorities are. Do you want that like single copy that you can, sniff and like look through? Because that's an aesthetic thing. Some people have to do that. And for certain copies, like I have to do that. For other things, it's like, I just want to read the fucking story. I don't want to go and have to dilly-dally with every little issue. I'll just get the TPB, dude.
Yeah, like that Buffy the Vampire Slayer that I was showing earlier. I know already there's Buffy, there's Angel, and those are the ongoings. Both of them are around issue 14, 15 each. Then there was the tie-in together. Now they're trying to do Willow. And there's only so many universes we can kind of tend to.
And there within lies the problem. One of the things that all the publishers do, and you can't blame them. You really can't. But they find something that's working, and they want to see, hey, how much can we squeeze out of this? Can we do enough that we can put in 3, 4, 5, 6 more add-on books within this universe, and are still experiencing a return on that investment?
But at what cost of quality? At what cost?
Oh, it's just like anything else. The more you have, the more diluted it gets. And the worse it gets. I'll give Robert Kirkman all the credit in the world. He got, let's just be frank and honest. Robert Kirkman hit it so big on a property, bigger than most creators will ever hit in their entire comic career with Walking Dead. And to his credit, we did not get 15 Walking Dead spinoffs. We didn't get multiple ongoing series that kept banging out and diluting the product. And I gotta say that shows a lot of restraint in my mind, because how bad could he afford that money?
I also think that it's probably because he was a former collector. He was a poor kid from Kentucky,
right?
So he knew. I think he understands what it means for people to collect,
right?
And it's a dick move to spin off.
Agreed. Agreed. Especially when it becomes necessary. Especially when it becomes necessary. I remember back in the 90s, one of the reasons that I never touched X-Men back then is because you could not read one X book. You had 47 X books every month. And if you missed one issue, you missed something. You legitimately missed something. I'm with you 100% on that one. That drives me absolutely batty.
And as much of an X-Men fan as I was, like I didn't appreciate the financial ramifications for the everyman buyer for that, because my mom was buying that shit and it's like I didn't get everyone, but I didn't care as a kid, I don't know, man. It sucks. It sucks because I love X-Men, but at the same time, they really rammed it down our throats.
Right.
Well, if you remember back when Chris Claremont first started with X-Men, now that I finally started reading it, there were a lot of fill-in issues.
Oh, yeah.
Because they needed to make sure that they could get the story moving. So it would have nothing to do with the main plot, and it would just stick it in there in the main part of the series. Why not do that?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I have to say, to be fair, I really enjoyed X Factor. But, that's like a Walt and Louise Simonson taking it back to the roots. They needed that. Plus Apocalypse. Like, one word for X Factor, Apocalypse. And he's like one of my favorite.
Yep.
Because he's like a cold Darwinian asshole. I dig it.
But how do I pronounce that? You can't pronounce it in your English tongue. You call me Apocalypse.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah,
a period of time where everything was erased, that was in total darkness, that was lost to history. That was me.
The best and easiest way to pick out what books belong on your chopping block, when you have a big week and you brought home a nice pile of books, if by the time you go to pick up books again on Wednesday, whatever books are still sitting in the pile and you haven't touched yet, those are the books it's time to cut, man. Get rid of them because you don't want to read them.
So Action, Super, everything Bendis. So that includes the Pearl, the Scarlet, the cover. I'm not to say that Bendis is just a terrible writer. He's not. He had some great times, great storylines, but at DC, I'm not digging it. It's just me, but I know there's other people that feel the same. But at the same time, it seems that with Legion, I remember Miracleman saying the other week how they're trying to tie Legion and Superman from the beginning of the Society of Presidents, the Society of Heroes, and then to lead all the way into the future with Legion. He's setting that all up now. I am just getting tired of all of his Event Leviathan and all these other spin-offs where I don't know what's going on in Superman. I pick it up and I'm lost.
Right.
Event Leviathan was fucking toilet paper.
It was not good. It was not a good event. And part of the reason is maybe just because, and this might just be me, but the spy organizations, that kind of stuff in the Marvel Universe has a really deep history. And it's not that the DC version of the spy organizations don't have a deep history. It's just they haven't really been utilized for the last 10-ish years. You just haven't seen a ton of it. They've been in there. You've had stuff. They actually had a book in the early 2000s called Chase, which was all about a character in the Department of Metahuman or Extra Normal Affairs, the DEO. That was their Metahuman team or department. So you had something there, but you really haven't seen a lot of this stuff. So he did that series. And while it was very deep on DC lore, which is something I typically really enjoy, it just felt hollow because the characters themselves weren't compelling. They were boring characters to begin with, which is why none of them were carrying a book. Even their best character, in my mind, would have been, the Cobra organization. Cobra had a book. The last time Cobra had a book was in the 70s. They did a mini, Cobra versus the JSA, or something like Cobra versus the JSA, I think it was. They did that. That was 12 years ago. It's been a while since any of those characters had any real significant impact on the DCU.
Yeah,
if they wanted to, they could bring any of those in at any time, but instead, we're left with whatever Bendis is going to figure out.
Right.
Which will probably all be retconned within about 5 years anyway, when they reboot the whole universe.
Right. Well, we don't know that's going to happen anymore. That 5G, we don't know what's going on there anymore.
Oh my fucking God.
Well, that was a Didio thing, man, and ain't no more Didios.
Huh?
So,
And it just
What?
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the fear of missing out if they wound up speeding up all the titles, advancing it 10 years, 20 years, whatever the hell they're going to do. Would you actually wind up picking up a bunch of, hey, this is now Damian Wayne as Batman. This is now Jonathan Kent as Superman. Would you actually start picking it up just to find out what's going to be done? Or do we kind of know that this has been done? It was called 1 year later, and it didn't really work.
Well, the problem with 1 year later is that they refuse to commit, right? Oh, it's 1 year later, and look at the first issues. Oh, look at all these things. And then they never really resolved a lot of those things. I mean, some of them they did, but there's a big chunk of those things. It's kind of like the 52 series. When they started off with 52, they wanted to tell you a story about a year without the big three. And what they ended up telling you was a totally different story. And at the time they said, well, this happens. And you start telling one story and it morphs into another. Yeah, that's not why I bought the book. I didn't buy it for it to morph into another. You should have had a script at the start, gang. You should have said, hey, we want to get here. Let's just let the story meander to get there.
You mean like Justice League with Scott Snyder and fucking death metal? Where's the end of Justice League?
It's in death metal.
Where's the end of death metal? Oh, it's going to be in the next series.
Maybe.
No!
This is the comic that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friends.
So I posted something earlier today on Twitter where it was somebody else's comment. Let me see if I can bring that up really quick. Where I agree in its entirety. This is from Nazar Talk Comics on Twitter.
Nazar.
Dear Marvel and DC, don't make every issue an important issue for the series, for character, and for the universe. Write good stuff instead. Yours sincerely, some random dude on the internet who is sick of events.
Mastodon says, and that's why I dropped DC. I don't do DC. I don't do DC. I also don't do the English language very well, but I don't do DC.
Yeah, I think that's unfair to DC in general because I think as a whole, I think there's a lot of great stuff that they're putting out.
I've read some DC stories, some strong ones, but they were because I read reviews about shit.
Right.
You
gotta be just like any,
It's word of mouth. It's if I hear somebody say, and you know, or more than somebody, you know, that's how I read about. That's why I read God of Thunder. It was
Right.
word of mouth, and like it was a New York Times bestseller. What the fuck? No comic's a bestseller.
Right.
Ah!
Except for that one. Except for that
But
one.
dude, that one. There's a reason why. Fucking Jason Aaron made a goddamn masterpiece, and I shat myself.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And
I've
I
heard that myself.
completely missed the boat on that because it was at that point where I was going, okay, there's the female Thor, and then there's this other God of Thunder. That sounds like it's going to be a mini series, so I didn't pick it up.
You know what's really funny? You know, I got to say this just because it comes up right now. So you had Girl Thor, and I think we all know, all of us on this channel right now know that there's some folks out there who got the big mad because there was a Girl Thor. Oh, how could you replace Thor?
It hurt their little weenuses.
Oh, forced diversity. Oh, SJW. So
Fuck that shit. If you actually read it, you would realize it's integral to the fucking story.
Well, not only is it integral to the fucking story, and once again, Not Near Mint is a show. Near Mint is a show intended for audiences over the age of 18. If you're under the age of 18, please do not watch Not Near Mint, because I'm going to say a lot of F words, and Lady Fantastic swears like a sailor. So,
Fuck yeah.
But that's just it. You know, they ranted and raved and jumped up and down, and you know, let's be honest, there's a lot of YouTube screecher channels out there which will tell you all about how they ruined Thor by making him a girl. Well, guess what? You could still buy Thor. You still had boy Thor. You could buy, it was just called Thor God of Thunder. And, you know, it drives me absolutely insane. You know, they go on and they read a Reddit post, or they click their favorite YouTube screecher on your culture war and want to tell you how it ruined things. Meanwhile, they're ignoring the fact that you could have bought the book all along.
It's so fucking stupid because here's the thing. All right, have you heard of the book Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse?
Yes.
All right, so fucking Thor lost his shit. He needed to go on to this fucking like journey and find himself again.
Right.
The hero's quest.
Hero's quest.
And, like he went through some mental shit, and
Right.
like who's gonna fuck around and like help Asgard? Goddamn Jane Foster, who's got stage 4 cancer, but the heart of a goddamn hero. Mjolnir came to her.
Right.
And while fucking the unworthy Thor was trying to get his bullshit together, she had to knock some heads.
Was that when he started using the evil Thor hammer? When he was unworthy there? The axe. Stormbreaker. The axe. When did he start using the one from the alternate universe, from the Earth 3 Avengers, where it had the evil Avengers? That part, man, I love that. That was good. I think that ended with Secret Wars, but damn, that was good. You're right, Earth X, yeah?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anyway. So who's cutting some books, man? I got some books I need to cut. I pulled 3 that I want to show that I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. So, you know, I feel really bad about this because I was enjoying the book, but then, you know, the COVID's happened and it came back and I saw the cover on the next issue. Now, this isn't the next issue. It's still sitting in my bin, which is why I'm cutting it. But New Mutants, man, like, I'm done. I'm just done. You know, the covers are funky. That doesn't kill me. But, you know, so far they've really been telling 2 different stories. They've been telling the New Mutant story, which is them going out in space to save Cannonball or Sunspot or one of them. I forget which one.
And hook up with Boandra.
Yep. And then the other story is the new X-Men, the kids from the new X-Men team. I don't know, Dusty. It might have been. I collected the main series. I ignored all those tie-ins. But, you know, so it's been 2 different stories that they've been telling, and I thought that was kind of fun, you know, and there's a whole bunch of other little groupings in the housing units of different young mutants from different eras throughout the X-Men's history. But it's not pulling me. You know, it's been a long time since we've had an X-Men book. I don't even remember the last time I read a new X-Men. It's been a while. But New Mutants came out. I saw it sitting on my bin, and I was like, I don't even want to try this. I don't even want it. So that one's definitely getting the axe. The next one, I've really been struggling with, but I think I'm finally going to cut it. And the reason I've been struggling is because every couple of issues is an issue that I love. But man, I got 4 issues of Flash sitting here right now.
Yep.
I haven't read them, man. I just
Only 4.
well, they've been coming out every other week.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's just too much. I'm like, dude, I need a little break from Flash, and it just keeps coming. And don't get me wrong, it's been good, but it's just, I don't know if it's too much Flash. I don't know if I'm just a little flashed out right now, or what the situation is. But I can't get excited when I look at a Flash book right now. I just can't do it. Which is really kind of a bummer. And then last but not least, and listen, I'm going to tell you right now, Josh Williamson, he's a great writer. I'm not knocking his writing. I typically very much enjoy the stuff he does, but I can't get excited for this Flash book. And there's been so many storylines that have been great. Flash Year One, the ring or the helmet or the button. There was great storylines, but I'm just not feeling it right now. But last but not least, once again, maybe I'm telling myself something. I need to take a break from a certain writer. Batman, Superman.
Well, it has nothing to do with the Batman Who Laughs anymore, right?
Right. It's just Batman and Superman, and it's just been single stories. Or I like they did that one that was Ra's al Ghul and General Zod teaming up, and so it's Batman, Superman versus General Zod and Ra's al Ghul. And that one was good, but it's only because I love the art. I think it was Nick Darrington do the art on that. The same thing. I've tried to read this Batman Superman. This did not come out this week. I still haven't read it. I can't motivate myself to read this comic, which means it's time to get the old chopperoo.
I forgot.
You're not alone.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to pull that trigger, man. Just got to pull that trigger.
Yeah.
And there's, you know what? I'm gonna show you one last book, which is weird because I just started picking it up, but I read it and it looks good when you do a flip through, but when you do a sit down and read, I really can't recommend it.
Oh.
So White Widow here, it's very pretty. The covers are very pretty. All right. It's Absolute Comics Group. To give you an idea of what Absolute Comics Group, I would put them on par with Antarctic Press. Big 2 quality production, need better editors and proofreaders.
Yeah.
And probably somebody to help move that story along. I read issue 4. I got my LCS ordered me the first 3. Maybe I'll feel different about it after that, but after reading 4, I don't know. I was excited when I first started picking it up, but after that, I'm questioning myself. I might have made a mistake. So yeah. So those are the books. You said Superman, dude, but how do you pass up Maguire, dude?
Because storyline on Bendis is just not going anywhere.
Just take out the words. Just flip through the pictures and look at Kevin Maguire's art and
Well,
make your own story.
Of other books I can do that too.
That's fair. I have a hard time turning down Kevin Maguire's work, man. I just have a hard time. I have an issue of Superman here. I haven't read it yet. So maybe I shouldn't say that. But I mean, just look at this. Just look at that. Just look at that. Look at angry Superman. Look how angry he is. He's angry.
Oh,
That's mad Superman right there.
He's gotten better and better since like the old days of Justice League International all the way to today.
Dude, you know what? I loved him in Justice League. That was a series I was collecting as it came out. Loved it. Consumed every issue 100 times. But I'll tell you what, his art today cut above his art in Justice League, which was already one of the best drawn books on the market. Or JLI, I guess technically I should say. Remember that Cooey issue he did? I think it's an Adam Hughes cover on that one actually, because it's got B fire. She's got the green bikini on. She's serving drinks to Blue and Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. Kui was the island that would move. It was semi-sentient. It was essentially Genosha or Genosha of the DCU, except it didn't like grow stuff to kill people. Like it was just an island that floated around. And that cover alone is one of the greatest comic covers in the whole series. It's like issue 34. But you read that one, you take a look at that McGuire art in there, man. And this stuff just kills it by comparison. And that was gorgeous. Sorry, yapping away over here.
No,
anyway,
people need to find out what they should be picking up and what maybe they should be dropping. Like from all the X-Men titles, if I had to pick just one and only one, it'll just be X-Men.
Yep.
But unfortunately, they're
when in doubt, go with Hickman.
Yes, go with Hickman, but he was doing some of the New Mutants.
Yep.
But now that you're back on Earth, why don't you tie everything back together, call it Uncanny X-Men, and be done with it, please?
Yeah.
I don't want to read X. I don't want to read X-Force. I don't want to read Hellions. Let me know what's going on in like the back pages or in that giant scroll of text they like thrown in there, just so we can read a little bit more, I guess.
X Factor is actually not that bad.
I've heard that too. I've heard X Factor was good.
Yeah, I just don't like how they depict Beast. Like I never seen like Beast so like almost like heartless.
So
I've read in that and X-Force. Yeah.
Really?
Because he's usually like a very kind-hearted person, but he's like cutthroat in X-Force.
Yeah, Unworthy Thor is not very long. It's a very short series.
But it was
I love that series.
Yeah, Unworthy was
so
good.
good.
Trying to buy the whole series online. I've been trying to do that for a couple months now when I've kind of had the money not. But even trying to get it to 300 is hard.
Right.
Have you guys read Thor's? Thor's was pretty good too.
Thor? Yeah. The run now? The Donny Cates run?
No, Thor's. From,
Secret or Battle World or Secret Wars or whatever.
That was badass.
Yeah, that was great.
I have it because I have 1, 2, and 4, and it makes me crazy. I have to get number 3. I'm not going to read it ever, but I have 1, 2, and 4.
Just like me and
We
Flex.
loved it.
Oh, which Flex were you struggling on? Yep, that's the one right there. That's the one people have trouble with.
4.
Comic Zombie. I said the same thing as you until I read Jason Aaron's Thor: God of Thunder. And now,
don't get me started, bro.
I was buying most of it, Jason Aaron, but not all of it because I didn't realize I was not buying all of it because I'm a dumbass. Because that happens sometimes when you don't realize that you can't read everything. But new Thor, if you're not reading it, it's only 5 issues in, but it just got incredibly expensive with issue 2 and issue 5. My shop didn't even get a 5.
Wow.
But it's like when you have a budget and you're trying to stick to, like you end up missing out on things. I totally missed out on like something's killing the children. Like I'm trying to hunt that down, and I'm like, the only reason I didn't pick it up is because I had stacks of books that I was already picking up in my pool, and that series blew up.
And then they become impossible to find.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thor was kind of low print anyway, wasn't it?
I don't know, man. I thought Thor was banging, man. I thought they were selling the hell out of it.
Issue 1, they made like 10,000 copies, but I don't know if issue 5 they made so many copies or not. I heard it was kind of low print. Did you guys hear that?
Well, first, back when they were doing Female Thor, they had like 5 prints of the first issue. The second one, they had like 3 prints.
I'm talking about this issue though. This run.
The current.
Yeah, current run.
I heard
no,
it's
Number 5? You mean?
Yeah. I heard Thor 5 from this Cates run was lower print. Is that true or not?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't confirm that. I don't know why it would be.
Right.
I mean, when you have like your most valuable writer on a title, you usually print that like more than anything else.
Does somebody have like Does somebody have a reliable like online source where I could find not like print runs for different comics and issues? Because I find that shit valuable. Like,
I haven't found anything reliable. I've seen it from time to time on some sites, but I have nothing that I know is correct. So
yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
All I gotta think of is Reddit. Go on Reddit.
Pretty much.
That's like a rabbit hole into hell.
You know, Key Collector does occasionally list them. Like, I'll give you a good example right here. Savage Dragon number 231. I remember I was telling you guys real low print runs. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Copies ordered by retailers 3,935.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
35.
Now, even more so, don't mock me. It infuriates me. Savage Dragon number 228. Oh, see, now I'm holding it like I can't hold a phone. Number 228, print run, 2,456.
Wow.
Now listen,
All
y'all see that cover. Buy that comic.
Oh
okay?
yeah.
Buy it. I don't care.
228.
2,500 copies, less than 2,500 copies. That's unheard of in the comic business. That book, you could set your own price, and next to guarantee, collector of Savage Dragon will pay it.
Oh yeah.
So
this is just like Spawn back in the day. You can wind up printing whatever you want if you're pretty much the publisher of the company.
Right. And they're going to print out basically to their orders, whatever the LCS is ordering, and they usually add a little bit on there because they want some to sit at Diamond. But you have to sell so many for Diamond to even stock them. So I'm kind of curious as to how they did on those particular books.
I mean, there weren't any variant covers with most of those, and
right.
So there weren't no 1 in 10, 1 in 25, 1 in 100. It was just whatever was printed. And if you're a Savage Dragon fan, people were probably going, "Why are you still reading this?" And I'm sure fans are going, "This is actually really good. It's creative. It's weird as hell."
Right.
I want the one with Obama.
That one.
Yeah, same. Now we saw those Savage Dragons. Now we all know how hot the Spawn books are. We've seen what those prices for those books go sub, say, issue 275, right? Lowest print run I can find on CLZ, 241, 11,766. What the hell is that? There you go. 11,766 copies. Okay. So, we've seen the prices, and this is the cover too. This Angel of Death, very popular issue.
Oh, nice.
We've seen what those have gone for. If you've paid any attention, some of these books are going for 30, 40, 50 bucks a piece, and they're still print runs that are over 10,000. Whereas that Savage Dragon had a print run under 3,000. Anyway, sorry, that's totally off topic.
It's off topic, but on a better note, when you know that something's super low print run, and especially in this modern day of collecting, if you are only in it for the keys, many times we're noticing these second prints, third prints, they're putting people on the cover that are super hot, whether it's Null or on this, Ruins of Ravencroft. There's Cletus Cassidy's old dead relative that's now going to be appearing in a new Donny Cates book. So now that's popping off. So yeah, I would be looking at the print runs if possible. But if I'm reading it, I'm not going to give a crap about the print run.
Right. Agreed. This is important for those back issue people, the people want to put together now. If you're a speculator, don't buy those books. They're worthless. But if you're trying to put those runs together, keep your eyes on them.
Yeah, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, season 12, The Reckoning. I think it was only 3 or 4 issues, but the print run is like 3, 4, 5,000 on those. And I stopped reading it at season 11 in the first couple issues because I was originally picking it up for oh God, this is a bad story. Back when I was married, and our roommate, who later went on to marry my ex-wife, I was buying him Buffy the Vampire Slayer to read. I'd read and just say, here you go. So I kept reading it after we divorced until I was like, you know what? This is leaving a bad taste in my mouth. Kind of like that Walking Dead after I sold the first few issues for a girlfriend that I'm no longer with.
Well,
Weird reasons for cutting titles.
All right. So who's got a book that they're cutting out of their collection? How about you, Kurt?
I only have one, but I don't want to feel like I'm jumping on the bandwagon, but I read the first 2 issues and I don't know what the fuck is going on in this. Ludocrats. The first issue was just, oh, here it is. It was just like super weird. I didn't know. I usually love weird stuff. Usually that's like appealing to me, and that's
how weird was it?
It was pretty. Well, someone's getting married, and this dude just walks up to him. You messed up, and chops his head off. Like,
it's a bummer.
It was just like really, really irrational, super out there. I love the art. Like, the artwork is amazing. It reminds me of like I Hate Fairyland. The art, it's just the colors pop, but I didn't even read. I have issue 2 and I haven't even read it yet, and I can't bring myself to read it. So I'm definitely taking that off my pull list. I can't do it. And I don't know if anybody, Zombro, he passed it up too. I don't know if anybody else has read it out there, if they have any opinions, if maybe I should reread it again. But yeah, I didn't enjoy it. And then just like you, Miracleman, I cut out Batman versus Superman because I was reading it because of the Batman Who Laughs, and then I just couldn't get into it. Like, I literally had the last 3 issues and I haven't read them. I just couldn't bring myself to read them. They weren't appealing.
Kirk, do you
have
all the newest Miles Morales run?
No, I want to read that though. I don't have them though.
You don't have any of them?
No.
I think she can help you out.
Well, I have number 2.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, okay, so then I've that's duly noted. I'll have to keep that on the mind. Sorry, I'm just...
Keep it on the mind.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to move on to Spider-Man and which titles to cut, I would say keep Miles Morales and fuck every other Amazing Spider-Man title. And by that, I mean Nick Spencer. I mean, get him off the book. Please get him off the book.
I was collecting some of them, just the ones that were dealing with Spider-Man 2099 run, but that was about it. And the cover, I mean, it seemed all right, but I felt like I was so lost after that came out. I couldn't continue picking it up.
Have you guys watched the Into the Spider-Verse?
Oh my gosh, yes.
For the 5th time, 2 nights ago.
I know, I love it so much. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. Yeah, it was great. I watched it with my nephew. I might have to watch that again tonight.
Well, real quick, my favorite thing about the story is hearing it, that with Miles, they rendered him at 12 frames per second, and they rendered Peter 24 frames per second. So when he's swinging, Peter looks like he knows what he's doing. Miles is all choppy. But as the movie gradually gets further along, showing that he knows what he's doing, gets right on up to 24 frames per second until it's the end of the movie where he totally knows what he's doing and it's smooth as hell. Little weird in backstory on how to make
He's a dork.
Yeah. Dork.
So, you know what? I don't even have a pull list. So I guess what I do? I drop every LCS, every Wednesday, every NCBD. I just go and I'm like, no, I'm going to drop this one. I realize that that's very irresponsible of me as a patron of a store that I care about. If I cared more, I would fill out that long ass list. But I feel that storylines are so shitty sometimes that I can't even make the commitment to stay on a title. So if you want to talk about commitment issues, I can't even check the box.
Well,
You're not wrong. I was like that for the longest time, just going into a store and going, I want this, and I want this, and I want this. And like, if you just wrote out what you wanted, like, but the book is like a telephone book, and you also want to give me a Marvel one? Oh, wait, no, there's a DC one too?
yeah.
But you know what? I more than compensate with the back issues that I buy from them. I treat them right.
Yeah.
I treat them like a lady.
Yeah, you please like a stat.
Yeah. I ain't got nothing to say.
We're all still collecting Spawn for some reason.
Spawn?
Who is picking up Spawn and who is actually reading it?
Not me.
I'm not doing either.
Neither?
Nope, neither. Nope.
I'm doing neither.
So it's just I'm the only dumbass here.
Yep.
I've tried reading it. It's just that I don't know if it's that I've only read the first like 20 and then spotty here and there, and then trying to pick it up from 293 on out. I don't know what's going on.
I'd rather just pick up the trade and read it there that way.
That's
I read
fine.
the first. I have some of the first one. I have like 1, 9. I have 13, 15, 17. I've read some of those, and they're pretty interesting story. But like, I'd rather just read them in trade, honestly.
You want to see something weird? Is Ghost Rider with Jason Aaron on it? I didn't even know that he was on that. And
No way.
Yeah.
The reason.
Yes way. So here's this Ghost Rider, and it goes to 35. This is Arthur Studium, and then says that's 34, and then this is issue 35.
Nice. Fucking
Yeah.
love Jason Aaron.
Yeah, so I was interested in this. I'm gonna have to check it out now. I'm all got my interest peaked.
Yeah, let me know how it is.
That
I will.
reminds me. Were you reading Sea of Stars by Jason Aaron?
Yeah, I had issue. I know I have issue 1. I may have issue 2, but I can't remember.
I have 1 through 5, and I don't know if it continued from there. So if you want it, it's yours.
I'll think about it. It's like if Jason Aaron's not on a Marvel character,
Not the same.
he's got a level of
I
commitment.
tried reading it, and it just really wasn't my thing. But I know that you're a huge Jason Aaron fan.
Here's the thing, you guys. I'm going to tell you this right now. You guys want to talk about Donny Cates? Oh, this Thor's so good. He's fucking riding on the coattails of Jason Aaron, because he would have never been able to write that fucking miniseries without the work that Aaron put in to put Thor at the level he was, to create the characters that he did. I'm just saying, dude. There would be no Null without Jason Aaron. I'm just fucking saying it.
Did you read King Thor? That was phenomenal.
I have it, but I haven't read it.
Oh my gosh, you have to read that.
Do I?
That was like he wrote that and dropped it in, and like I'm out.
Okay.
So
I
good.
have it. I'll read it once I read God of Thunder, and I will not read it until I have the actual issues.
I have the whole run of this most recent Thor, like the 1 through 16. I have it too. Just saying. I haven't gotten through it, but
Yeah, same here. That was you talking about the stuff that led up to the War of the Realms.
Yeah.
yes. I'm only about 5 or 6
Okay.
issues deep, where it's like the Phoenix Force, when like Wolverine has the Phoenix Force in space and then fucking spawn.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah. It's just nuts, dude. And then like fucking Thor has to go and like kick his ass. It's crazy.
Yeah, it works. Like it works where going back and forth from like the past, the present, the future.
Aaron does that, man. It's like a
He
fucking.
does a phenomenal job of doing that.
He weaves it together like a fine quilt or something. It's cool. Big Thor
He does
enthusiast.
yeah.
Jason Aaron needs to hire me as a PR person.
I think you can hire most of us. Just like Dylan could wind up being Dylan Comic Rants could wind up being the spokesman for Donnie Cates.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's crazy enough.
I'm still amazed that you had Big Will wound up getting that interview with Donnie Cates. And I'm the type of person I don't want to know what a creator looks like, because once you know what the people are like that are writing and drawing and creating the stuff that you're into, it kind of destroys some kind of illusion for me. I don't know.
We always have false expectations.
I was expecting Donnie Cates to look like this, like millennial, short haircut, glasses, like very buoyant. I expected him to kind of look like Comic Tom. And when he came out looking like almost
he's more rock and roll.
He's
more rock and roll. He's got tats and shit.
Yeah, he looks like young version of Alan Moore.
Kind of.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got to get off. I've got a 9 a.m. Zoom meeting that's going to be boring as hell. I got to get off of here.
At 10, I understand. So how about we wrap it up here tonight, and we'll do that go around the room and just say, how about we go ahead and promote yourself, starting with Lady Fantastic.
So I think Shortbox Padawan and I are going to have an auction tomorrow on her channel, maybe at like 7 p.m. She'll have the details on her site, but we'll put out an announcement, and if not, it won't happen. But we'll see. Just I'll be coming up with a 500 subscriber contest where I'll be doing a giveaway, and I'm just gonna be excited because I want to give shit away because I like people. Yeah. Anyways, that's it.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to. What time was it going to be for Shorty?
7 p.m. Central Time.
7 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Shortbox Padawan.
Shortbox Padawan. Hopefully, the community all knows who she is.
She's awesome.
Mind shift. Go ahead. Note yourself.
What do I got going on? Actually, me and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gorilla Tod Comics. Me and him are starting a new show. I can't wait until it starts. It's going to be tomorrow at 9 my time, so 11
oh my God.
Or 12 your time. I know, right?
It's like 2 a.m.
But it's called, basically. It's called the Teachers Lounge. It's awesome. Basically, we're trying to get a bunch of there's a lot of teachers in the comic book community, so we're trying to get them all together and just sit at a round table and talk comic books. So I can't wait. Check us out tomorrow on his show, on his channel, Gorilla Tod Comics. Great dude. He always does auctions for with Meta on. Yep. He's awesome dude. I met him on IG, and I haven't turned back since. He's a really cool dude in the community. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll start putting more stuff out on IG. I just haven't had time. So check it out if you have a chance. And that's me. Right. That's me.
And last but certainly not least, Miracleman.
So, if you're a regular viewer of the show, you know I have no Instagram or YouTube channel of my own. I do occasionally write articles for Batman's Bookcase, and even though I haven't written any in a while, you should definitely head on over and check it out. The editor's always adding new stuff. Really great guy, fantastic site. It's all articles written by fans. I myself focus on books older than 10 years because we got so very many people writing about stuff that's new. So take a look and have a quick review sometime. Also want to bring up, and I'm so sorry, this is like the ghettoest way of doing this, but at least I'm not jamming a drawing pencil against an iPad tablet. You should check out my friend Daniel Calbin's latest issue for his ongoing comic, American Dreams. It's on Kickstarter right now, guys. It's already fully funded. There is no risk if you go and put your order in right now and back this Kickstarter. And I'll tell you why. There's no risk. Daniel already has issue 1 and 2 of American Dreams out there. You can actually get all 3 issues from this Kickstarter signed by him. So, he has a track record. He's put out his books. And this is the 3rd issue. And the premise is superheroes in the early 1900s. So, hey, Rufo. So I highly recommend you go over and take a look at it. I love new superheroes, especially ones in non-traditional settings. And very rarely do we get superheroes prior to World War II. So definitely go on over and check that out. Other than that, come on by the Twitters and say hi. I'm at Komodo1977. That's KIMOTA 1977. And we can make fun of internet chuds, has-been comic creators. We can talk comics, new comics, old comics, weird comics. I have a tendency to pull out books that I find in the most unlikely of places and post them on there fairly regularly. And I always enjoy a good palaver about your favorite comic that you've ever read. So come on by and say hi. Other than that, see you back here next Wednesday.
Racist, misogynist, and right-wingers need not apply.
You can come on by, but you won't like the conversation.
Well, that leaves pretty much little old Nate. So I'd like to thank everybody for tonight. This has been the 46th episode of doing this show, and I like doing this. I want to continue doing this. So if there's something that you want to see in upcoming episodes, next week we're going to be doing weapons. So like Gore the God Butcher and his sword and Silver Surfer's board. We're going to be talking about that stuff. So if you'd like to see something in upcoming episodes, do let us know. My name is Rob Worst. You can find me on Twitter at Rob Worst. You can find me on Instagram at Not Near Mint. I usually post at least one comic book a day, some keys, some first appearance, something interesting at least, and maybe do a little storytelling. So do smash that like. I am almost to 500 subs, right behind Lady Fantastic. So do subscribe, hit that notification bell to know when we're releasing new content. But otherwise, this is the Not Near Mint crew, and we're going to play out your regular music. But do look for this Sunday at 11 a.m. My comic shop, my LCS that I go to, Miami Fresh Comics, he's doing a claim sale. So check that out on his Instagram at Miami Fresh Comics, or perhaps if you can't get that up, at Magic City Comics. That's this Sunday, 11 a.m. So thank you for coming. We're going to be back next Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.
Night, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see this episode again, along with a catalog of back episodes and issues, surf on over to Not Near Mint on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Rob Worst, Lady Fantastic, Miracleman, and Comics on the Mind will be back next week. Same time, Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Not Near Mint.